We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with some huge news regarding former Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey. As some of you have likely heard by now, it was reported just earlier today that Ronda Rousey could finally be making her long-awaited return to WWE in the very near future. In a news report by Sapp of Fightful, it was reported that WWE are apparently pushing for Ronda Rousey to return to the company in the near future, and with the Royal Rumble just around the corner, this new rumor that WWE are allegedly pushing for Ronda Rousey to return has caused many fans to speculate that Ronda could potentially be brought back for the Women's Royal Rumble match this year as a true surprise entrant. Although we'll just have to wait and see if Ronda Rousey actually comes back at the Royal Rumble, because this report could simply mean that WWE are pushing for Ronda to come back perhaps before WrestleMania 38, but after the Royal Rumble. But nonetheless, very exciting news for Ronda's fans out there. And Ronda has not appeared in WWE since her WrestleMania 35 loss of the Raw Women's Championship all the way back in 2019. So it is definitely a long time coming for Ronda Rousey to return to WWE. This is definitely a big news story for the week, and hopefully more details will be revealed in the coming days about Ronda's WWE return. We now have a news update regarding two big surprises for the upcoming 2022 Royal Rumble. For those of you unaware, PW Insider's Mike Johnson reported recently that NXT 2.0's Braun Breaker and Gunther, formerly known as Walter, will be in attendance at the 2022 Royal Rumble pay-per-view, although it was also stated that as of right now, there's no word on whether or not Gunther and Braun Breaker will actually be in the men's Royal Rumble match, though they will be in the arena on the day. And it does seem plausible that WWE would have these two included in the match, because why else would they really be at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view for? Now, for those of you who are under the belief that Vince McMahon's days in WWE could be numbered, and that McMahon could be planning his retirement from the company in the relatively near future, that no longer seems to be the case, or never actually was, and Vince McMahon is reportedly not going anywhere anytime soon. So neither Triple H or Shane McMahon will be taking charge of WWE anytime soon. Recently, on a Something to Wrestle podcast, one of WWE's senior vice presidents, Bruce Pritchard, talked a bit about Vince McMahon, and when it was all said and done, it's clear that Bruce does not feel like Vince is going to be slowing down or stepping down from WWE anytime soon. Here's two key quotes from Bruce Pritchard on McMahon in WWE. Yes, I always felt like Vince McMahon would continue running WWE past the early 2000s. Absolutely. Yeah, I can't imagine him not doing it, and I am sure that he will continue to do it, probably for the next 25 to 30 years. His mom's 101 and still going, so you know, he shows no signs of slowing down at all, and he's a freak of nature, and it is hard to imagine it without him, and I don't think that we'll have to imagine it without him for a long, long time. As expected, WWE are trying to find some worthwhile surprise entrants in the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches this year, but unfortunately for WWE, two former women's division superstars that WWE had reached out to, the Inspiration, formerly known as the IIconics Billie and Peyton Royce, have reportedly rejected returns for the women's Royal Rumble match this year, as reported by Fightful Select. Here's the message regarding the IIconics refusing the Royal Rumble return spots. The IIconics were offered a spot in the Rumble match, but Fightful sources indicate that they turned down the offer. Cassie Lee, Peyton Royce, and Jess McKay, Billie Kay, are now the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions, and didn't feel it was the right time to make a WWE return of any capacity because they're happy with their current path. Now, it's been unfortunate that we won't be seeing Billie Kay and Peyton Royce in the Women's Royal Rumble match this year, but they likely made the right decision, especially after the way they were both released from the company a while back. Alexa Bliss has recently returned to WWE television after being absent for a number of months following the Extreme Rules 2021 pay-per-view event. And as some of you are likely aware, the reason why Alexa Bliss had temporarily left WWE was to undergo sinus surgery. Since returning back to WWE, Alexa Bliss has seemingly continued on with her supernatural character, but according to a new report by Ringside News, a new clue has potentially been given regarding Alexa Bliss's future in WWE, and what character she will be portraying moving forward. Ringside News reported that WWE have applied to trademark the Goddess as of January 19th. And as many of you are probably aware, this was Alexa Bliss's gimmick before she turned into her supernatural Fiend character in 2020. So perhaps WWE are planning for Alexa Bliss to revert back to her Goddess character or gimmick in the near future. Let us know if you guys feel Alexa Bliss should keep her supernatural character in WWE or go back to portraying the Goddess gimmick. Or do you feel like the best idea would be a mix of the two going forward? Let us know down in the comment section below. Now, there were some reports recently that WWE don't really have any long-term plans for Finn Balor anymore, and that Finn's more seen these days as being a jobber to the stars, with WrestlingNews.co revealing the statement about Finn Balor's recent clean loss to Austin Theory after speaking to someone in WWE. Yeah, Finn was moved into the spot that Jeff Hardy had. He's just there to help get over the younger guys. There was a pitch to make him a heel, but that was weeks ago, and I haven't heard much about it since then. Vince never saw Finn as more than just a mid-card guy. Heyman would have pushed him to the moon, but Vince just never saw it. Austin is going to get the time to shine in the Rumble match. Last I heard was he will be in the final 4 or 5 at the end of the match. However, while it is now clear that Vince McMahon does not really view Finn Balor as a top-level superstar in the company anymore, Ringside News recently reported that one potential reason why WWE have yet to release Finn Balor from the company is because AEW would quote bend over backwards for Finn Balor, and that may be why Vince is hesitant about letting Finn Balor go, as he may not want Balor going over to the competition AEW. Now, by all means, despite not getting the push that so many of Finn Balor's fans feels he deserves, Finn Balor is still an immensely popular superstar, and there's no doubt that AEW would have an interest in acquiring Finn Balor. So it's definitely not far-fetched to imagine that the possibility of AEW scooping up Finn Balor if he was to leave WWE is one major reason why Finn's still in the company, despite the fact that WWE don't really have any big plans for Finn Balor moving forward, and is now viewed as someone WWE can rely on to do some nice spots in matches and put over other stars, and overall just fill up the roster, which in all honesty is unfortunate considering Finn Balor could easily be a world title contender if given the chance, and Finn certainly has the fan support behind him for that to happen. But Vince has refused up to this point, and it does not seem like that will change anytime soon, if ever.